And we're back at it again with another live one to all you Bi-Conics fanatics out there on the YouTube lands. And welcome to another edition of the Raw Squad, where me and my partner in crime here, Minnie, we review Monday Night Raw for you. Now, you might be asking yourself, aren't you a little late on this review? And the answer is no. It is never too late to review wrestling. But in all honesty, things have kind of gotten busy between the both of us. So we're doing it now. And Minnie, this was until I was reminded, like, halfway through Raw, I was like, oh yeah, this is the go-home show before the Payback pay-per-view this Saturday.
Yeah, Raw did not let you forget the fact that Payback was this Saturday, because they said it about 1,300 times in the episode. Now, is that an official number? No. In my head, do I believe they said it 1,300 times? Yes.
Yeah, I'm just like, they need
That
to.
was the only downside of it.
Yeah.
Everything else was great.
Everything was good. Though I'm hoping that after Payback, we see progressions of these stories, because I felt like while Raw has been fun the last couple weeks in terms of storytelling perspectives, it's been weird.
Everything they kind of had the last 2 weeks of the last like 2 episodes of their main shows. Their stories kind of had to take, a break because of the recent passing of Terry Funk and Rotunda.
Mm-hmm.
So they couldn't really push the storylines too much.
That's true. But I will say that I'm hoping that we start to see more fresher faces on television, because right now we're in the vortex of Judgment Day, Seth and Shinsuke, somewhat Chad Gable and Gunther. It's a crime we're not getting a match at Payback, but it is what it is. But I'm hoping to see some evolution, because we got Fastlane and then Survivor Series for WWE to end out the year. So I'm still excited. Overall, I thought this was a fun show so far. So let's just jump right into it. For the first time in a couple of weeks, we actually started Raw with a match. No promos, which I'm like, yes, thank gosh. Judgment Day and or Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens is not starting the show with the promo. So we opened up Monday night.
The match?
We started. Yes. Hell yes.
No promo, though.
No promo, which listen, I'm fine with. I love me some promos, but man, it's just nice to start Monday Night Raw with a match. So we see and it's a singles match, no less, which I'm like, thank goodness. So Sami Zayn is taking on Damian Priest, which I thought this match was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
To me, it looked like they're just going through the motions.
Well, maybe it's because of the fact that, I'm a big Sami Zayn fan. I love Damian Priest, and the fact that we opened with a match instead of a promo, I was more keen to it. Now, of course, they couldn't get too crazy, because we come to find out later in the night that, KO and Sami are going to be defending these titles against Damian and Finn in a Steel City street fight. I hope it's a street fight, because I still have the bitter taste of that hardcore match on SmackDown. God, that was such a disappointment. Me and Professor already talked about it, so we don't need to go that. But I thought this match was fun. Again, I like Sami, I like Damian, so of course I'm going to be a little biased here. But I will agree that they probably were going through the motions more so nobody got hurt. I mean, we just had Sami has been off, hasn't really wrestled too much. KO just came back from injury, and we don't want nobody getting hurt before the street fight at Payback. But
got the job done. The announcers made the comment that during the match, Damian Priest purposely kept the Judgment Day in the back, and Sami Zayn purposely kept KO in the back until, Mr. replacing Sami Zayn for the Bloodline. JD McDonough came out trying to weasel his way into the Bloodline. He's doing the exact same thing that Sami Zayn did with the Bloodline, trying to weasel his way in.
You mean the Judgment Day?
Well, no, he said he's trying to do the same exact thing. Sami Zayn.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, never mind.
Trying to weasel his way into the Judgment Day. Came out, interfered with the match, gave Priest the win. Priest said, "No, stop my business." Pushed him, left, and he got jumped by Sami and KO, and he just walked away.
Honestly, I am happy just to see JD back on television every week. I'm trying to figure out. I probably think you maybe wait until maybe Survivor Series for the Judgment Day to break up, but and
I think
it's
they got post Survivor Series. I think they do a mixed Survivor Series elimination tag match between like Judgment Day with Rhea Ripley versus Sammy KO to another person. I don't know.
I hope we get a War Games matches because so far I haven't seen that we're getting a War Games. I'm like, no, bring the War Games back.
Organs is dope.
War Games is dope and I love it, but I mean, we'll see what happens with JD getting more involved as he is. The reports that I'm seeing that Damien is looking to be the one who gets thrown out at Judgment Day at the end of this like arc seems to be more and more believable because Damien's like, "What are you doing, bro? Like, I don't need you to help me win." So it's Judgment Day is all over the place right now because right now Finn, JD, and Damien are kind of the focus for Raw, and Rhea to a certain extent, but I feel like she's been an afterthought on Raw. She's getting more screen time and wrestling time down in NXT because her and Dominic are always there for the most part on Tuesdays too, especially with Dominic being the NXT North American champion. So it's really weird because we have this faction all over the different brands, so to speak. But again, we have the tag team champions defending their titles against Judgment Day. I don't see Finn and Damien winning that match. I think more shenanigans are going to happen, but we will see about that. So after this match, I mean, we get a couple of recaps. We see what happened between Shinsuke and Seth last week, and that Rollins is going to call Nakamura out later tonight. Then we get the typical montage of the people who are about to participate in the next match begin to warm up. So we see New Day and Viking Raiders warming up, and then when we come back from commercial, we get this backstage segment. Drew McIntyre's looking at a photo, and then Akira Tozawa comes up, and then Matt Riddle's just like, "What's up, bro?" And Drew does not approve as he turns the paper around to see Drew in like bro tights for wrestling gear. As stupid as his tag team is, I love Matt and Drew McIntyre.
You know, thanks company insert company name that I can't talk about because they could see this. I didn't see any of this. They didn't put it on.
We really need to figure out how we're gonna get you to watch Raw. Don't worry, I have my sources. We'll make sure you get to
No,
watch
I
the
just have
whole
to
thing.
watch it on the USA net, the USA app.
Don't worry, we got you covered. Again, between the Mick Riddle shirt that I wanted that the New Day created in their head last week, and then this. Honestly, I like Drew and Riddle as a tag team. We all know that Drew is going to kick Riddle's head in at some point, but I'm enjoying the ride as we go. Okay, so finally, we get to see something instead of Raquel just coming out every week beating up Rhea Ripley. Now we finally get a video package next of her as she addresses Rhea and basically recapping their feud so far and how they fought each other in NXT, and that Raquel is not somebody that Rhea can just toss around and throw around in the ring, and that she's going to have to work harder. And she says that every woman has their weakness and insecurity, but Rhea's not going to be able to stand up to Raquel, and that she's going to take Rhea's title at Payback by cutting her down to size. I'm like, finally, we actually have some semblance of a feud for Rhea. She's not just out here just cutting promos and literally being faction mom to the Judgment Day to make sure everybody's good and nobody is breaking up. I'm excited. I love Rhea. I love Raquel. If we get the viciousness that those two had while they fought each other in NXT, I will be sold on this match.
Two big muscle mommies beating the crap out of each other. I'm all in. Pun intended.
Seriously. I'm super excited. So, you know, again, the first hour was a lot of like people seeing people warm up and things like that. It's always a great time. We see Becky warming up, then we get the announcement, like we were talking off camera, that John Cena's gonna be returning to multiple dates on SmackDown all the way till the end of October. So I'm interested to see what they have planned for him. I'm interested to see if he's going to be at the Fastlane pay per view, if he's going to make an appearance at Payback, but we shall see. So, okay. So now we get to the fun part. So we're back in the arena. LA Knight's music hits. Everybody is losing their mind because LA Knight is so over. However, no, it is not LA Knight who comes out, but it is the Miz who dresses up at LA Knight. And I had to pause my television because I couldn't stop crying of laughter. I was like, this shit is so good.
He did such a good, and then him going confusing. He dropped, of course, it's the Miz. So his promo was amazing because that's what he's good at. Hilarious. Him saying yeah like every other word, got to get the crowd involved, everything like that. But him going, if you want an LA Night t-shirt, give me a hell yeah. I mean, give me a yeah, and all this other. Oh my god, that was so good. He did a fantastic job. Then dropping all of it and then becoming his little healy self and saying to the crowd is like, you guys mean nothing. You guys will cheer for anything. That means y'all ain't worth nothing. I'm gonna beat the crap out of LA Knight come Saturday at Fastlane.
I love it so much. Honestly, I think this is, I mean, Miz always has good promos, and I think he's part of some of the most iconic like promo segments in it. Like when he had the promo segment where, early in the 2000s when he was Intercontinental Champion, he would mouth off saying, this is like, I'm here every day. The iconic promo off on Talking Smack between him and Daniel Bryan. And I'll throw this one into it, but man, I feel that Miz always gets the short end of the stick. Like people like don't like to bring him up when he's in the conversation. I'm like, I think his promo skills are awesome. And I think he's one of the greats right now currently on the roster. And to have him feuding with LA Knight, who's also just as charismatic, I think is amazing. I don't care what this match is gonna look like. I'm just like, this is gonna be good. And finally, this is giving LA Knight at his first actual feud on the roster. And I'm excited.
RAP since Bray Wyatt.
Mm-hmm. So
Since he came out of his, what is his name? Something Dupree, whatever his name was.
Oh yeah, Max Dupree.
Max Dupree, yeah. Since he left that stupid gimmick behind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super excited for it. It was also really funny when they cut to the announcers and Wade Barrett, Stu Bennett, whatever name he goes by, was wearing the LA Knight glasses and just looking at Michael Cole. And Michael almost broke when he saw him wearing them, just staring at him.
Listen, Wade and Michael are like my. I love them as a team of a commentary team. They're so good. I love them.
Oh, awesome.
I was just like, damn it. I'm mad that they switched. I mean, I watch all the wrestling. We all watch the wrestling, but I'm like, I'm sad you are not on SmackDown because on SmackDown we have to deal with Kevin, Patrick, and Corey Graves with Michael, and Michael's not even the lead for SmackDown. I'm like,
I like Corey Graves.
I like Corey. Kevin, I'm like, sir, we need a little more work. I don't want to hate you.
We're gonna beat Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross.
That's very well. We talked a lot about Jim Ross at All In. I'm like, sir, somebody needs to come pick up this Manziz. I think he's done because I love JR, but what he had gone off the deep end like halfway through. I'm like, someone come get this Manziz. And I was like, also, someone come get Taz too. Now they're both spouting nonsense.
Taz always spouts nonsense.
I know. It's crazy. But honestly, I really, really loved this segment from Miz. And I'm really... Listen, I think Miz is going to beat LA Knight, which is fine. I don't think this is a feud that's one and done. I think we're going to carry it out to Fastlane and probably at some point, maybe Survivor Series or after that. But I'm here for it.
Survivor Series is one of their big pay-per-views. So I think they carried us out to it before Survivor Series, and then LA Knight's probably going to go for a title at Survivor Series.
I could see that. But I'm so in for this feud. I'm excited to see it. So this is going to be fun. So
great way for them to get the LA Knight pop without actually having to move LA Knight brands. Perfect.
I know. It was nice that I was like, oh, here we go. LA Knight hopping over to Raw once again. Because Miz and LA Knight have been popping over to the other brands. I was like, you guys, like, you know what? I'm not even gonna keep saying it because the draft doesn't matter. But okay, sure. So Shinsuke, we see Shinsuke's recent promo. There was a lot of recaps. I'm like, you guys, I understand, but I'm like, most of us watch the product week to week, so we get it. But you know, Seth is getting ready to call out Nakamura later on. Then we get the most. Okay, this was a cluster of a match. So the New Day versus the Viking Raiders. And I mean, we get a cluster because the match itself was fine. It's everything towards the finish that kind of got out of hand because now Drew's throwing chairs at people. And apparently Xavier Woods broke something. So he's going to be off television next week because Drew threw a chair at him.
Is this the second time somebody got hit with a chair being thrown?
Probably. But this match was fine. I was surprised that New Day ended up losing this one because right now Viking Raiders have been kind of on the jobber end of the spectrum, so to speak. They've been losing every single match they've had so far.
What do you mean? Finn Balor hasn't won a match in like 4 years.
That is very, very true. But in terms of tag teams, Viking Raiders have been jobbed out. But even more so, I was surprised that they won against the New Day, who just returned to television. I'm like, what is happening? So, I mean, we get it later on that Kofi's not upset with Drew and Matt, but I was just like, are we though? Are we though? So, I'm telling you that Drew heel turn is going to come sooner than later. But again, I think this match was fine. It's what I expected from New Day. New Day being New Day and awesome. Viking Raiders being big guys who can also jump, by the way, which always still pops me, even though I've seen it multiple times already.
We saw it live.
Right? God. That moment will forever
Even
be burned in my memory. It was so good.
another match I didn't see thanks to the app I cannot name.
Man, app we cannot name, get your stuff together because, we're out here trying to do the wrestling gods of work and you're not letting us do it. But I thought this match was fine. Obviously, Drew McIntyre throwing chairs was hilarious. He threw a chair and it missed the first time. So then he threw a second chair and it hit Xavier. I was like, I obviously am meant to hit Ivar, I think, of the Viking Raiders, but he ducked and it hit Xavier in the process. I love Xavier Wood. He's great. But
Yeah, he's awesome.
yeah, so Viking Raiders pick up the win. They run up the ramp because they're like, nah, we're getting out of here. We go. They replay the chair shot. And McIntyre and Riddle help Kofi tend to Woods and he's apologizing. So after this match, and we kind of cut, we go to backstage with the Judgment Day. So once again, we have As the World Turns, the Judgment Day edition. So this is like the telenovela that never ends. So Finn and Damian are talking, and they need to be on the same page when they go for the tag titles at Payback, and they need to be together. Priest agrees that they need to focus on Judgment Day, but then Priest is like, bro, we got to talk about JD. Like, what is happening? Why is he here? Why is he getting involved? And Finn says that, Priest only won tonight because JD helped, and that did not slide well with Priest because Priest is like, bro, I'm like, I don't care about this outsider. I don't care about JD. You, Rhea, and Dominic are the only ones I care about. I care about family, not this little weirdo. And then they continue to argue. And then as Finn is about to leave, Rhea once again being mother, literally, to all the Judgment Day boys. It's just like, you guys, both of you need to shut up. The Judgment Day can handle their business and we carry each other. And she's like, she and Dominic are handling business and not fighting, unlike these two. And that they are a dominant faction, but they can't be that if everyone's arguing every week. And she goes on about how this is making them look weak. And then she's like, especially to people like Raquel who are coming for her. And so literally Rhea says they got to make things right at Payback and remind everyone how they are forced to be reckoned with and that they need to win. So she stressed that part because that was interesting that she said that. And that if they don't walk out with, if all of them don't walk out of Payback with gold, there's going to be some changes. And so at this point, Rhea and Dominic walk off. Finn and Damien just have a face off. Damien races the Money in the Bank briefcase and says something about not having a problem winning gold. So I was super interested in this backstage promo because now I'm thinking, I'm just like,
They're
so
gonna lose, and he's gonna cash in and take the belt.
yes, that is my option. So, but I still hate the news reports reportedly, supposedly, that Damien is going to have a failed cash in. I'm like, no, I am tired of the failed cash ins. I think it's the most stupidest thing that WWE has decided to do as a trope over the last couple of years with the Money in the Bank winners. I'm like, if you were going to have a failed cash in, why did you let them win in the first place? To me, Money in the Bank needs to be given to a superstar that is on the cusp of like superstardom and just needs to pull the ultimate heist to become champion without, trying to mess up storylines. But no, if Damien has a failed cash in, I'm going to be very upset. I'm just like, really? Why? I'm just like, we don't need this.
We need a senior champion.
Seriously. So, and I unfortunately can see that I could see WWE pulling the failed cash in, and then this is like Finn costing Damien the title, and then they're just like, bro, you failed, you're out, whatever. I'm just like, really? All right, fine, sure, why not? Um, I will say I did enjoy this promo, but we've gotten this promo the last couple weeks. Shoot, we've gotten this kind of promo from Judgment Day the last couple of months where they're gonna break up. No, they're back together. They're gonna break up again. Just kidding, we're back together. It's kind of like we've been spinning the wheels with Judgment Day, and so I have to wait and we have to wait to see until Payback happens to see what comes next for them, because we've been kind of just spinning our wheels the last couple of weeks and months with
Can we
Judgment
get
Day.
JD and Finn Balor versus Damien and Dominic?
Honestly, I would be down. Like that could be a really fun, match. So
With Rhea Ripley as special guest referee?
honestly, I'd be kind of here for it. But obviously, it can't be any type of match. I wonder if it's like some sort of stipulation, like maybe if Finn and JD win, JD is in Judgment Day, or if Damien and Dominic win, then JD can't join.
Or it's gonna be Finn, Damien win, Dominic and Damien have to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever wins stays.
Ooh, honestly, I would love that. There's so many ideas, but as the professor has said, if it makes sense, WWE is not going to do it.
I say that. My line.
Both of you say that. Honestly, it's become a staple on SmackDown. Both of you have said it. We're going to put it on a t-shirt, I swear. Anyways, so, yep. Heck yeah. So, once again, we get the video tribute to Bray Wyatt that played from SmackDown. So empty rocking chair spot because they did this on NXT last night too, which by the way, you check out the review later today for that because me and Will are going to talk about NXT. But then we get back to the aforementioned where backstage with Drew and Matt and Kofi, they're talking. Drew apologizes. Kofi says it's good, like it's fine. But Drew is ready to fight the Viking Raider, so I'm like, that's going to be fun. Okay, now we get to the my other favorite segment of the night. So Chad Gable, Ludwig Kaiser, Imperium, everyone. This whole entire mess of Alpha Academy and Imperium is also one of my favorite stories right now
I
on Raw.
love the way they announce Imperium. Ludwig Kaiser. It itches my brain in the right spots.
Seriously. So obviously Imperium comes out, and Gunther is standing on top of the announce table like he has been, and we see a recap of how Chad beat Gunther via the countout last week. And so Gunther tries to cut a promo. The fans are booing. And he's basically trying to downplay the fact that Chad Gable technically beat him, but it's not really a win. But he didn't win the championship. So like like Willy Wonka, he loses. Good day, sir. You lose type of thing. And this has made Gunther mad. So Gunther is he begins ranting in his native tongue and basically kind of like cutting down Gable and all his accomplishments. And then they are interrupted by Alpha Academy. God, I love Chad Gable and Otis and Maxine. They are my favorite stable. So they interrupt. Gable says that normally he get a big shoosh, but tonight, because Gunther was making some pretty good points, Gable goes on about how Gunther has almost been undefeated on the main roster for 2 years until last week, and that Gunther's first loss next week, it won't take but a 3 seconds because he's winning that title. And then Gable says that, that's next week, but tonight he has business with Kaiser, so they get into the ring for the match. So we did. Yep.
Okay, but did you notice when they're coming out to the ring, Alpha Academy, Gable gets in the ring, and then that boy Otis is a gentleman. He
Yeah.
helped Maxine get up there and then put the ropes out for her. I noticed that in the background when he's cut this promo. Otis is gentleman Otis.
Jeez Louise. Honestly, this is giving me shades when Otis and Mandy Rose were a thing, like on screen as like a couple kind of thing, not in real life. But honestly, I Otis is such a treasure, man. Like we don't deserve him or Alpha Academy.
Then he told Ludwig I should get his carcass in the ring. And thank you.
See, Chad Gable is we're way past the time limit. Chad Gable is so fucking good. I love him so much. He's great. And this match was pretty fun too. Obviously, I've seen better, but Ludwig Kaiser and Gable, it's a fun match. And I, of course,
I thought Ludwig Kaiser was going to break his neck.
Oh my gosh.
When he did the spot where he put him to the middle rope, he landed all weird. And I was like, damn, he dead. Then he got back up and it looks like it just hurt his wrist. And I was like, you know what? I hope he's not dead. I was like, damn, he hit the ground hard.
Yeah. I was like, oof, that's going to hurt. And Gable's on the cusp of winning this thing as he kind of as he's getting ready for a chaos theory in the middle of the ring. But
that's the chaos theory.
Oh yeah, yeah, he pins him and then Vinci comes in and just to make the save and the ref calls the match. So by DQ, Chad Gable wins. And then,
Otis gets involved. After all happens, Otis gets something happens. I don't know what happened. Something happened to him. And then
yeah, Otis gets attacked. Gable's on the on the double team, taking out Kaiser and Vinci. But then Gunther makes his way into the ring and literally like takes out Gable. And then Imperium get triple team him. And then Gunther plants Gable onto the mat with the power bomb. And then
he tried to do it the first time. They reversed to an ankle lock.
Oh, that's right.
The other two members of the Imperium had their back turned.
Mm-hmm.
Then they went, oh shoot, ankle lock. So they start beating him up more. Than Gunther pushes him out the way, then power bombs him.
Yes. See, that's why I need you here. You help me keep in track. I'm very interested. So, do we think? Because technically, next week Gunther will have surpassed Honky Tonk Man as the longest Intercontinental Champion reign. So the question is, does Chad Gable take the title from Gunther next week?
No, I think they save it for the next pay-per-view.
I could see them holding out to Fastlane. At least I hope they put it on Fastlane. I feel like
they're not going to have whoever beats Gunther is shooting up to like they're shooting up when it comes to ranking and everything like that. So I think they're going to wait until I think that here's what they're going to do. They're going to wait until the next PLE. They're going to set up either Chad Gable or somebody along those lines who are rising up. Take the belt off Gunther. Gunther is then going to go from there immediately. I don't think he's going for the IC title. I don't think he's going for a rematch. I think he goes from there straight to the world title picture.
Honestly, I'm cool with that.
Versus either Seth, Shinsuke, Damian Priest,
whoever. Honestly,
Damian might be a transitional champion.
I mean, I would hate that, but I can also see that.
He might take it off Seth or Shinsuke, hold it until Survivor Series or Rumble next year, and have Gunther take it, and then Gunther's going to hold it until Mania, and then whoever the big faces that wins the Rumble is going to take it off him. I'm not even worried about Roman's belt because Cody's going for that. We all know that.
For sure. I'm like, thank goodness. So we'll see what happens with that. So after we get a quick tribute video for Bob Barker, who passed away at the age of 99 over the weekend. And okay, So this is my other favorite segment. So not necessarily, I mean, I love Seth. So Seth is always going to be great on the mic because Seth comes out to the ring and
Hold on, I have a thing about this. He's supposed to be pissed off, right?
right.
Why was he dancing behind, like, backstage? He's supposed to be pissed off about what's been going on with Shinsuke attacking him, all this other stuff. He comes out dancing. He's like, they cut like before commercial. He's just dancing.
Seth Rollins is an enigma, and I'm here for it if I'm being completely honest.
That's true.
But honestly, you're right. I'm just like, so Seth is in the ring. We know he cuts a good promo, playing with the crowd a little bit. And, he starts to talk about Shinsuke and, he's ready to call him out. And that if Shinsuke wants to continue to play mind games and all this stuff, then, why not Shinsuke come down the ring and then say it to his face? And then the Memphis crowd eats it up. They start the whoop that trick chants start happening, which is like one of my favorite things. And then, of course, Shinsuke is like, bro, come down and fight me. Like, I'm right here. Come down. Let's talk. Let's fight. And then we get the Titantron playing another video promo from Shinsuke. I don't care what anyone says. These promos from Shinsuke the last couple weeks have been some of my favorite because this is how Shinsuke should have been all along, in my opinion.
The people who don't know, Shinsuke used to do professional MMA
Mm-hmm.
before he got into wrestling. That's what he did. He was an MMA fighter. That's why it was like, at first I was like, I didn't remember that I saw him doing the karate and stuff like that. I'm like, why is he? Oh, that's right. He used to fight. That was a legit thing. He actually knows how to kick ass.
And, I've said it before and I will say it again. Anytime wrestlers who English is not their first language, it means a lot more to me as a wrestling fan. And in Shinsuke's case, it makes him more intimidating when he gets to cut promos in his native language. Because man, just this promo in the Japanese and the way that he would like speak and the way that he would carry on certain words and just the ups and downs of the whole entire promo. And he's like, basically, he's going to destroy Shinsuke. And Shinsuke says whether or not he wins this title on Saturday, Seth is going to have to crawl out of this ring. Man, Shinsuke, again, this is the Shinsuke I've always wanted and I've always known. So the fact that we get some semblance of this is great. And then even further, too, Rollins, like in the Vince era, McMahon, he would probably get in trouble for this, but who knows if Vince was listening or whatnot. Then as soon as that video promo ends, Rollins goes into what happened to the Shinsuke that headlined the Tokyo Dome. I was like, ooh, we're talking about a non-wrestling promotion that's not WWE, or the fanfare that Shinsuke got when he first got to NXT. So basically, the rest of this promo is that Seth is ready for Shinsuke. They're going to fight at Payback, and, we're about to, do it. But then, all of a sudden, Shinsuke Nakamura rushes in and drops Seth from behind. And then, Rollins says something in his ear. And Michael says, Shinsuke told him, I told you to watch your back. The crowd boos as Shinsuke stands up and delivers another swift kick to the head, laying Rollins out. And then we end this promo with Nakamura standing tall over Rollins as he makes his exit while the music hits. And then Rollins is like dying on the floor still. See, this is what I wanted. It doesn't take that much effort to at least have some semblance of a story when you're building these feuds. And the fact that they chose Shinsuke to be Seth's next opponent while we try to figure out what else we're going to do for him down the line, I think this is fantastic. I think this is awesome. This is going to be great. I'm so excited.
As long as it doesn't end with Shinsuke and Seth in the balls again, like his last time with AJ, this will be an absolute banger of a match.
Exactly. I hated that spot. It was so stupid. It did nothing for either one of them. It was so stupid. So we cut backstage, and again, this is where we were talking about earlier during the opening match. This is where we get the official promo from KO and Sammy. confirming that their championship match while they were defending the tag titles is now going to be a street fight with the Judgment Day boys. So I'm excited for this. Hopefully, again, street fight in WWE, I'm minorly hesitant because it can't be as crazy or violent. But shoot, if you have something semblance of like what Roxanne and Blair did at Great American Bash for NXT, then I'm okay with it. Obviously, no one can bleed, but let's actually make it a street fight. So I need to see kendo sticks. I need to see chairs and tables. Like something needs to happen. Then randomly, we get Tommaso versus Bronson Reed next. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna complain. I love Bronson Reed, I love Tommaso Ciampa. But I was like, we've seen them fight already, like over the last couple of months or so. I'm like, I'm not mad at it, but I'm like, what are we like? Are we waiting until after Payback? Because listen, Tommaso has been cutting these vignettes on Twitter that he's looking for Johnny Gargano, and them teasing me with a DIY reunion. I'm excited, but I hate it because I'm like, stop teasing me. Just put Johnny and Tommaso back together. I was like, I know you're waiting, but damn it, don't wait to pull the trigger. I don't know. But as far as this match goes, again, really solid stuff. But again, we've seen this match multiple times already within the last 2 months or so, and Tommaso picks up a victory. And after the match, he goes right to the floor as the music hits. We get some replays. Ciampa celebrates in the front row with fans as Bronson is looking upset. So it seems we're going to get more of this, and hopefully this leads to Johnny coming down to even the odds, and then DIY reunites. Who knows? But I'm not going to complain. I love Tommaso. He's great. So now we're getting closer to the main event, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. But we get a bunch of backstage segments with a Becky Lynch interview, giving her thoughts on Zoe and Trish. Then, I don't want to talk too much about it, because then after Becky's backstage interview, then Rhea's cutting a promo in the ring, and she's literally talking about NXT and her title match at Payback, that Raquel Rodriguez is not ready for her. And then again, Raquel comes out. They brawl. And so then they have to be pulled apart. So the same stuff that we're used to seeing when it comes to like the go homes, like promo, big old fight, being pulled apart. And then who will come out on top on Saturday at Payback for the 50 millionth time this whole entire show? God, I hated it. I was just like, you know what? I was like, if you say Payback one more time, Michael Cole or Wade Barrett, like, I don't know what we're doing with this. So, served its purpose. It's fine. Then we get Zoe Stark and Trish backstage interview. Then we get the rundown of all the matches for Payback, which we'll talk about in a little bit, because I would love to get Minnie's thoughts here about who's going to win in the matches. And then we get a tribute video for Terry Funk, so everyone's excited. And then we get into my match of the night, Falls Count Anywhere, Becky Lynch versus Zoe Stark. Holy shit. I was just like, this match was everything for me, Minnie. It was everything that I wanted Trish and Becky's match to be at, when they were in Canada, but obviously it didn't happen. But holy hell, this match was awesome.
Except when Trish accidentally nailed Zoe in the head with the steel chair.
I mean, that was funny. Honestly, I was just like, but you know what? And Zoe played it off. She's like, bruh. Trish got too excited.
That was fun. But yeah, great match. What was the last time a women's match main evented Raw or SmackDown?
Bro, I feel like it's been like forever. Like, honestly, somebody in the comments let us know, because I can't think off the top of my head. When was the last time a women's match main evented? Well, Raw and SmackDown, because NXT had a women's main event yesterday, and it was fantastic. I don't know.
But you already know it was the best match ever. They're on the table.
That's very, very true.
Somebody threw 2 tables.
That is very, very true. But man, this Falls Count Anywhere match was awesome. Chair shots, fighting in the crowd, the ending sequence of the tables, of, as Zoe tries to go to get deck Becky. She accidentally decks Trish and pushes her off into a table, and then Becky manhandles. Yep,
The reaction of them just staring at Trish to the table, like, oh, they
like
look at each other, and then Becky's like, okay, and then Manhandle slams her through a table and wins.
it was so good. I love Becky's like Zoe's like, oh my gosh, I hurt Trish, and Becky's like, dang, you went there. All right, manhandle slam through the table. Man, I loved it
And then
so
she cries at
much.
the end.
Yeah, she's crying. She's crying at the end, and we do get to see a Bray Wyatt armband, and that's how the show goes off the air. But I want to briefly talk about as the camera went off. We did get to see later because I got to see it via TikTok. Um, we got to see the promo that Becky cut after the match, and she talked about Bray Wyatt, and she said that her when she was getting ready for her first tables match when she was SmackDown Women's Champion, which I believe was the table match against Alexa Bliss, in which Alexa beat her for that title. But she was saying that she never had a tables match. She didn't know what she'd do. And then she was just telling the crowd about how Bray Wyatt, Wyndham, as she referred to him by his real name, like literally, he also had a match at this pay per view that they had, but he literally worked with Becky the day before and the day of how to pull out tables, how to go through tables safely, like literally coaching her for her match. And Alexa versus Becky in a tables match ended up being one of my favorite matches. And so, she says that she's going to bring the pain to Trish Stratus at Payback, but it was a really beautiful promo of kind of honoring the legacy of Bray Wyatt and how much he meant to her personally and how much he helped her when she first started out on the main roster after being called up from NXT. And I'm just like, damn, we lost a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, overall, like I said, minus a couple of stories, kind of we feel like we're just spinning our wheels for a little bit. Honestly, I really enjoyed Raw this week. So before we get into our quick payback predictions, what do we review this week's SmackDown? Honestly, I'm gonna give this SmackDown. I'm gonna give this a SmackDown like a 7.5 minis out of 10. Again, minus. Again,
I was saying the same thing.
yeah. The main event was awesome. We got progressions of storylines that even aren't happening on the paperback. I'm very excited for Seth versus Shinsuke to main event the show. Which, by the way, it's so nice to not have Bloodline be running all up and down a pay per view card for once. It feels so refreshing. um, but my only biggest gripes this week is Tommaso versus Bronson. While I enjoyed it, I was like, okay, we've seen this match already. Where's Johnny? Spinning us some storylines. Judgment Days, will they, won't they? Is kind of getting on my nerves a little bit, but I'm excited for this match. And but ultimately, I really enjoyed this Monday Night Raw. And so, Minnie, you said that you also give this a good solid 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Alrighty. So before we log off the air, since I have you, let's quickly go over some predictions for Payback. So let me pull up this card. So Payback is this Saturday. And honestly, all the matches here look pretty good. So far, we've gotten 6 confirmed matches. And for some reason, we're going to have the Grayson Waller effect with Cody on this pay-per-view. So, okay.
Because they got to get Cody involved. Come on, he's popular.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So, looking at this card, it actually is nice because it seems, well, I mean, it mostly seems like Raw stars are on here. We got a couple of SmackDown feuds. But anyway, so I'm just going in order, in no particular order. First, so Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus in a steel cage match. I think Becky wins this. I think we're done with this feud.
Yeah, I think this ends it.
I hope this ends it. Honestly, I feel like this feud should have ended at SummerSlam like the original plan was, but they extended this feud for whatever reason. And, Becky, Zoe, and Trish have had to work overtime to get people interested because while they were in Canada, the Canadians did not care about this feud. The actual match between Becky and Trish was not it.
I think they end it and set up Becky versus Rhea.
Honestly, I'm okay if that, or if the rumor is too, because Becky got mentioned by Tiffany Stratton, the NXT Women's Champion, got mentioned. So I interest because I was reminded, I'm like, Becky never held the NXT Women's Champion while she was down there, and that to me is crazy. So that's what the rumor report is saying, allegedly too, that Becky might come down for a little bit to NXT, which honestly, I'm cool with that. If that allows her to just wrestle some of the other women and then you want to push her to Rhea versus Becky, I'm cool with that. But my pick is Becky. I'm hoping this ends the feud so both women can go their separate ways, or if Trish wants to take a break for a little bit, she can. So, next up, we have Seth freaking Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the World Heavyweight Championship. This one's tough.
It's a tough one. Damian Priest.
Ha! Honestly, I could see Damian cashing in here. Oh man, there's so many factors here. This is crazy. I think
Unless they're legitimately gonna let Seth loose so he can actually go get his back fixed, so that's a legit thing, or if it's just like a story
line purpose thing. This one's tough. I'm gonna say I think I'm gonna pick Seth to retain, and that's Seth winning without Money in the Bank coming in afterwards. But honestly, I would not be upset if Shinsuke also took it off of Seth as well, because I think Shinsuke's overdue for a big title run again.
Right. That or it's possible, yeah, and have him hold it till Mania or something like that, and have him lose it at me because he's a heel right now. So
that is very true. This one's really tough to call, but I'm gonna stick with my gut. I'm gonna pick Seth to retain, but again, won't be mad if Shinsuke wins. Okay, so Mommy Rhea Ripley defending her Women's World Champion against Raquel Rodriguez. Obviously, Rhea's winning this one. I want this match to get time, and I want them to kill each other like they did in NXT, because if we get those two, like how they fought in NXT, I honestly think this match has the potential to steal the show, and I am here for it. And I'm just happy that Rhea's finally getting a feud and defending her title, because since WrestleMania, she's just been out here jobbing women and or just being Dominic Mysterio's side piece. It's crazy to me. But I picked Mommy Rhea Ripley to retain her title. This is the other one. This next one is the other match. I'm like, I can see multiple ways. But Rey Mysterio defending his United States Championship against Austin Theory.
Rey wins.
Yeah, honestly, my hope is Rey wins, because it seems
Rey wins or Theory wins via disqualification because Santos Escobar interferes in the match and beats up Rey.
That's what I'm hearing. So I think Rey is winning regardless, but the two paths that I see is that obviously Santos, I think, is going to be the one to take it off Rey. And it's just a matter of whether they're going to go the route of student versus teacher, like face versus face, or potentially that Santos is going to turn on Rey and it becomes heel versus face, with Santos taking that title off of Rey regardless. So it's no shame. I think Rey is a transitional champion for this title, and I think it's going to Santos. It's just I'm interested to see what path WWE takes in terms of whether it's face or heel Santos that takes this title. Next up, we have L.A. Knight. Yeah. Taking on The Miz. I don't care. This match has me hyped.
LA Knight's winning.
I'm gonna go opposite. I think Miz takes the first one, because I don't think this is a one and done feud. I think Miz takes the first one, and then LA Knight beats Miz the next two times they face off. I think Miz is getting the first one in this feud.
It's possible, yeah. I can see it.
But honestly, I don't care, because this build up to this feud has been one of my favorite things, and just the ridiculous lengths that LA Knight and Miz have gone through to kind of, cut promos against their opponent have been some of my favorite mic work within the last couple of months on WWE. I don't care. Because I know Miz can go, I know LA Knight can go. I just hope this match is good, because then we could say the build up and the match itself was pretty awesome. And who knows, if it's good, I might actually just put it in my top matches of the year just from the build alone. I'm excited. And then finally, as of right now, because who knows if we're going to get more stuff announced on SmackDown, But Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn finally defending their tag team championships at a pay-per-view against the Judgment Day, which is going to be Finn and Damian Priest. And it's going to be in a street fight. Kevin and Sami are retaining. I don't see them losing these titles.
I don't see them losing it until maybe Rumble.
Honestly,
if they do.
Yep, I can see that too. Now, my biggest question is if I would be shocked if I don't think the Judgment Day will lose cleanly, because every time Finn has lost, it's always been some shenanigans. So I'm very interested to see. My biggest hope is that there are no shenanigans. And honestly, I want it to be a hard-fought fight. But who knows if we're going to get interference from... Honestly, because it is a street fight. Now that I think about it, because it's a street fight, I can see JD getting involved in somehow. And man, it would be something if JD was the reason that Judgment Day lost, or screws Damian or something over. But I see our tag champions retaining, so we'll see.
So that sounds about right. I think that's what's going to happen. JD's going to get interfered somehow, and it's going to distract Priest, and then he's going to get hit with a stunner or haluba kick, and then GG's.
Yeah, is GG no re? Honestly, like, even though this is a short card, which I'm okay with, I forgot how long AEW pay-per-views were, and like an 11 match card was a lot to get through.
Yeah, it's because, they have like 1,300 wrestlers on their roster.
And don't get me wrong, I thought it was a fun time, but I forgot how long AEW pay-per-views are, which is why normally I'm appreciative we only get the big four. But now that we're adding Forbidden Door and All In's coming back next year, and then we have this Wrestle Dream show, which is hopefully just a wrestling glorified house show and not an actual pay-per-view with storylines and stakes. Just let people fight. We have like 7 pay-per-views with AEW, and they're all so long. But I still love it. But that is going to be our predictions for Payback. I will also get the picks from the professor this Saturday when we do the SmackDown review, so this should be fun. But that is going to be it for the Raw squad from Minnie and myself. Minnie, it was always a pleasure to review Monday Night Raw with you.
I'm here.
Cool.
What it do?
You want to do you. But if you like what we do here on the Bi-Conics YouTube channel, make sure that you check out our other long form reviews. We just did our All In pay-per-view where we all had some opinions. You can join back up and check out the NXT review where I debuted my new co-host. And we got a whole bunch of stuff coming this week. You can also follow us on the social medias all over at BC WrestlePod. And you can also follow us at the Bi-Conics Wrestling Podcast, where we are just nerds. We nerd out and talk about wrestling, anything and everything. It's a great time. But from all of us here at the Raw Squad, which would be Minnie and myself, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, keep those good times rolling. Until the next review, adios and sayonara.